In this video of the Better Photography Weekly Challenge, we will be discussing the winners and honorable mentions of the contest, Multiple Exposure. Our judge and mentor is Natasha Hemrajani. She's a visual artist and photographer who counts surrealist painter Salvador Dali and the work of Man Ray as her earlier influences. Since 2005, she has been a contract photojournalist for the Hindustan Times, following which she has served as photo editor of Grazia for its launch here in Mumbai. Her work has been published in The Guardian, Vogue, Caravan, The Mint, Better Photography, Harper's Bazaar, Elle, and The Times UK, amongst others. Natasha has also mentored workshops, classes, and various programs in photography, emerging visual practices, and photojournalism at Met University, the Sophia Polytechnique, Ecole Institute Lab, and the Magic Lantern Festival. Hello and welcome.
Hello, Neelu. Thank you for having me again.
So can you tell me what you felt about the entries?
Okay, so I'm really happy to see so many people responded and sent in their submissions. But I do think that we have a long way to go in terms of where people express multiple exposure and even the understanding of multiple exposure. Because, you know, as you and me were going over the images, there seemed to be a little bit of confusion about what actually is multiple exposure. People had submitted images that were not, in fact, multiple exposure. So I was very happy to see the volume, and I would really like to see like more content that fits the subject. It might be nice actually to even do like a series of tutorials on the side of what multiple exposure is, so that people who actually want to do it have a better guideline of, you know, how to go about it. But yeah, I was very happy to see the number of entries.
Okay.
I absolutely enjoyed this image. I thought it was such a wonderful use of color and form and subject. I really loved the little boy looking up at us while the whole mass of like the people are at prayer. And I thought this was a really, really wonderful example of multiple exposure. So very well done, Arnav. I love this picture and I would love to see more of your work. Claudio Sarkano's images from Italy. I actually thoroughly enjoyed all the submissions from Claudio. There were more than one. He went with an abstract choice for his multiple exposure shots. And I believe the abstractions were done absolutely perfectly. They're technically perfect. There's a lot of intrigue in the photographs. You know, you can look into them for a long time and figure out the form and the color and the balance of light. And I really enjoyed looking at this image and the rest of his work as well. I really like this photograph because there is this sense of time moving kind of like in a hurried way, but also the people that are frozen in the shot are mannequins. So there's something mysterious about the movement and the freezing of time. And it makes you feel like we are just, as humanity, ghosts drifting along in a current that we are not in control of. I thought this was a lovely multiple exposure shot, and I love that it was in black and white. A really lovely combination of, I think, the same image, if I'm not mistaken, over and over. There's a repetition of form. It's not absolutely clear what is it that the photographer wants to say with the images, which is why I think it's so delightful, because you can read into it in any way you want. You can read into it in terms of urban over construction. You can read into it in terms of just the play of light, or how beautiful a city can look at night. And, you know, almost the feeling like when you had a bottle of champagne and you're walking down the street and all the lights start to mingle and everything looks like it's repeating upon itself. So I think this was a really lovely shot, a really lovely multiple exposure shot. So I personally am very fond of like abstraction in images, and I love it when abstraction is done well. I think this particular image, that it's a really good example of taking a form and working it to the point of abstraction and still being like absolutely in control in terms of design and color. The palette is wonderful. You can look into it again for a long time and just keep seeing different forms and different new aspects of like light and dark in it. I really liked it. I thought it was a wonderful image. There's something about this photograph that I absolutely loved. I just love the color palette. I love how you cannot tell whether it's this way up or the other. I mean, you could assume it's upside down. You could see it in any way you want. And I think what I find magical about this image is that however you rotate it, it's intriguing. You get the feeling there's an urban landscape, but you don't really know where or what is happening in it. You can almost see faces in some of the color, splotches in the image, and just everything about it is so wonderful and mysterious. And I think this is again a beautiful abstraction in a multiple exposure shot. Really well done. So of course, one of the loveliest things about this image is that little tiny human person in the center. You almost get like a Matrix-like moment coming out of it. I love the way the light is sort of bleeding all over the place, and you can't tell whether it's, a mirrored discotheque light or buildings or just like some kind of graphic being broadcast on a wall. Everything about it is really lovely. The play of light, form, and all the elements that make it a multiple exposure. So here we come to my favorite image, the second place, Claudio Sarkano. I really loved your work. Very, very well done. I'm so happy to see you win this, and I would love to see more. In fact, I have chosen almost all your work as my runner-ups. So congratulations, and you're a really good photographer, and I love what you're doing, so keep it up. And Arnav Mitra from Kolkata, you won first place. What can I say? When I saw this image, I just knew it was a winner. There's something about it that just called to me. I love the little boy looking up at me through the thousands at namaz. There's something so perfect about this image. I mean, even the colors and the expression. And when you go in closer, it's just like a whole world of people within it. And I love the fact that you sort of communicated how religion is so personal and still something that like all of humanity can take part in. It's a really beautiful shot, and congratulations, you completely deserve first place. For the cell phone category, we actually don't have any honorable mentions. We don't have any runners-up. We straight away have 2 winners. This is only because we didn't get the kind of images that would qualify as multiple exposure, and the ones that did, I think, were not very good. So I'm hoping to see a lot more work out of you cell phone category photographers. Come on, guys. You have a lot of tools at your disposal and a lot of apps. You can definitely up your game and make something beautiful. So we straight away go to our second place winner, Pankaj Rolkar from Pune. Thank you so much for your submission, Pankaj. I really like that you chose black and white. I would only like to know a little bit more maybe of what were you trying to say with this image. I feel like there are 2 people sort of in the middle of some exchange, and they seem to be maybe between heaven and earth on cloud. I don't know what, but it's a little unclear of where or what the mood of this photograph is, but still a very good effort and a nice multiple exposure. So well done. Congratulations. And we have our winner for first place, Saganiel Biswas from Bangalore. Congratulations, Saganiel. This is a really nice multiple exposure shot. I don't know who this lady is, but I'm assuming they are both the same. I really like the juxtaposition of the hand and the face and the double face ghost image. I'm not entirely sure what emotion you were trying to convey here, but there's something mysterious about it. And I ended up looking at this photograph more than once and more than twice and more than thrice. So I think when you manage to capture someone enough to look into an image that often, there's something magical there. Congratulations on winning first place.
Thank you.
Thank you, Neelu.
Okay, so we are done.